see further even.
Oh, are they magic glasses?
No, man. They just magnify stuff.
Oh, really? Makes sense.
Yeah.
In the bottom left, we have our Protoss player with his unique style. I do love casting this guy's games a lot. He always has cool strategies, his ideas.
He was born in 1994, and his
he
height
likes
is
orange
this
juice and ice cream. Long walks along the beach. He's allergic to asparagus. In the upper right, we have our Zerg player, the man, the legend, 3-time GSL champion.
I am NesTea.
If you have children watching, you might want to cover their eyes just there. He's very terrifying to look at.
I think that the best way to raise children is just to let them know about NesTea early on.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, but our Korean audience is going crazy about something. I don't know what we missed on our
well, he was trying to block the pool a bit.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's what was going on.
Because I'm like looking all over
the placement of that spawning pool it makes no sense. It's like not where you would normally just place it for some reason. Like if NesTea's sitting there playing a game, is he going to place that pool there? Probably not. So I think it was just the probe was like chasing a drone down, then NesTea just brought another drone off and made it. It's like, oh, NesTea is so clever to bring another drone off to make the pool. That's my guess. I wasn't paying attention to that. So, all right. Cloud Kingdom is our map. It's a new map, a good map, a fun map. And
so we have Cloud Kingdom Space Shark. He's got a Twitter account.
He does.
He does. I hope he's watching right now.
And in fact, guys, follow us on Twitter. I'm Artosis. He's Call Me Tasis. And of course, GOMTV. We'd love to hear from you guys. So go ahead, add us, and let us know what you think about everything.
Tweet at us.
Yes.
We got the hatchery now on the way over here. This actually looks a lot like a StarCraft I PvZ.
Yeah.
Oftentimes the Protoss can deny with the probe, the first expansion hatchery. So basically, Zerg says, all right, and sends the drone to where the third base would be. Mm-hmm. And then it's something that Zergs can manage fine at high levels. The problem is that it means that the Zerg doesn't have a 2-base option. And that, well, they can do it, but it's just very rare. And if it does, if they go 2-base and Protoss catches on, if
you're going 2-base as Zerg after putting your hatch at the third base location, you're doing exactly. You're doing it all in because it's too far away. You can't actually defend both locations. You kind of need to be defending everything at once, which you need the full economy for. But the fact that that's like a beautiful move for Protoss to delay that actual natural and force you into the third. It tells them everything about what you're doing. Right. So right now, InCa can do things like he did last game. Like he doesn't have to make sentries if he doesn't want. He can jump right up that tech tree. That's up to him.
Yeah.
And his core is going to finish soon, so we're going to see. He hasn't gotten additional gas at his natural. And that's what you do. You get the third gas if you're going to need a lot of sentries so that you can also tech at the same time. And he's not doing that. And there you go. Once again, Stargate going up. So he's going to do Stargate-based play. And just the single cannon and Zealot can hold on basically forever. I mean, it's until he has all his tech out already.
Very well said, Artosis. There's no threat.
Yes.
There's no threat of an impending attack here from NesTea.
And here, let me be clear. You want sentries against Zerg. You do. And you do want him to be able to charge energy. But when you buy something that expensive, it's very important. You can get a lot more tech out, a lot more upgrades out quicker if you get your sentries a bit later.
Right. I mean, you can't basically be spending money on or spending gas on sentries and something else at the same time. Yes. They just cost too much gas. Yes. And they build too fast, so that's why.
All right, so Void Ray on the way. I want to see if he's going to do the same style, 2 Void Ray, Zealot pressure with +1. We don't have +1 even started yet. He does have the money to do so, so it doesn't look like he's going to do any Zealot pressure with it. Normally you're going to want to start that very early on because it takes a long time to get that upgrade. So instead, I wonder if it's only going to be 1 Void Ray or just a lot. And it's going to actually end up being a lot. Not a bad choice. But what is he going to accompany this with? That's my question. I almost feel like he's going to take an expansion. A third base as opposed to a timing attack because we still don't have +1 started. I mean, this is pretty late.
I guess if he gets enough
Well-
Void Rays and Phoenixes, I mean, he can just make a third base, and you can't really attack it.
Yeah, you know, your
I don't know
gateway
what he's
units
gonna
can
do,
deal with Zerglings, and your Void Rays deal with Roaches. So, you know, he's just kind of clearing up the map right now. Will he make a third Void? Looks like the answer is no, he will not. And, in fact, look at that. He is going to go down and take that third base.
Okay, cool. So this is, again, this is the sort of... this is, like, why, again, I like casting Inca's games. He does have this very unique way of approaching the game.
Yeah, and, you know...
And I feel like he can beat almost anybody. The problem is NesTea's just so consistent and well-rounded and balanced and handsome and perfect and taller than me when I wear high heels. And
that's true.
That's, you know,
all you need.
That's what I want. I want a nerd who's taller than me when I wear high heels.
And, you know, stylistically, he matches up really well versus InCa. InCa does a lot of mind game stuff. Wow, 3-star gate. And if we peek, we'll get into that stuff in a second. But stylistically, NesTea matches up well with him because InCa's like a tricky, intelligent player that comes up with really good builds. Whereas NesTea is like a player of understanding. His mechanics may not be the same level as DRG's, but his understanding is like almost complete. The fact,
that's a great way to you want to compare those two players.
Yeah.
DRG's mechanics are so good. They're so good. And then you get somebody like NesTea just seems to have an overall the game sense is very clear. If he has the information there, he responds properly. And then InCa is this guy who, like, when StarCraft II first came out, he looked like the smartest player in the whole tournament.
Yeah.
You know? And he's still really smart, but the question is, can that style survive against somebody who's kind of
the answer is
solid? Like
the answer is generally not. By the way, he's going 3-star gate carrier.
All right,
so I just want to throw that out there. Now, if he can just hold on right now, he's going to be so happy. He has to run those probes, man. He has to run those probes.
He needs to evacuate the probes.
He's trying to just buy time to get these Void Rays back, and there we go. He does run those probes away. I believe he can save the next. How many gates does he have? Just one. That's an issue. He has to save this base, but so many lings coming in.
You know,
you need 3-base economy for carriers.
I think you can screw it up.
Well, the thing is, if he has those, maybe a slightly better SimCity, or he has the third cannon warped in, or the Void Rays are closer, then this can work out. But unfortunately, none of those things were the case.
Okay, so here's what we're seeing here. And maybe you guys watched the finals with DRG and Genius. Essentially, the carrier is the worst unit in the game. And not as a unit in of itself, but because of its pricing, because of the path it takes to get it. Mm-hmm. It's just not considered good. So pro gamers don't really get carriers.
Yeah.
Now, the result in the metagame is pro gamers don't even think about carriers.
Yes.
No, it's just not even a strategy.
Well,
so there's a chance that if he...
Oh, good. A sentry coming
Oh, God,
in.
he's going to show the carriers.
He's showing the carriers, man, but there's 15 mutas on the way, which is really bad news for these carriers.
See, guys, theoretically, if you could get 15 carriers out, and they didn't know because they thought maybe you were going to Colossus Void Ray or you were just making a bunch of stalkers, they might just have a bunch of roaches and you'd win.
Yeah,
but right now...
Thing is, the carrier actually has huge damage output. It actually is a good unit if you can get a bunch of them. And that's the point of what he's trying to do here. More Protosses are trying this. Every now and then Genius tried it, as Tasteless just brought up. When you actually get up to 6 and 8 carriers, they actually start to beat almost everything.
Yeah, the problem is that it takes so long to do that, it costs so much that if they find out about that, then you're in trouble. And let me tell you something, NesTea found out about that, and he is going to punish InCa severely for it.
Now, these carriers are going to come out. We're going to watch Carrier versus Muta in a second here. Muta's probably just going to fly away.
Yeah, and that's the other problem, is Mutas are actually faster than the carriers.
But if he continues on Mutas, of course he has the tech and the upgrades to go ahead and go Phoenixes. And he's just going to sacrifice 4 economy, a bunch of Mutas.
And as you can see, he can once again just avoid the carriers. This is, it's StarCraft's such a beautiful and perfect game, but right now in StarCraft II, this is just the unit that we can't figure out what we're supposed to do with it.
I want to be fair to the strategy as well. Like, for instance, what happened in the finals, Genius versus DRG. DRG just happened to choose a strategy for the map that countered what Genius was doing. It was a brilliant move, and actually this was a very intelligent move, but as mentioned before, if he had maybe a better SimCity or his Voider is right nearby and never lost that third base, he has a lot more than he has right now. He has a much better economy. So this is a hard spot he's in right now. And but we'll see how well his carries can actually end up doing. A lot of Zerglings coming in, and that's allowing his mutas to just target down the Nexus.
I just can't see him when he's... Look at the supply, which I did not actually glance at until just now. It's 88 for InCa, 176 now for NesTea.
I love the creativity of using this build right now, but he definitely does need a little bit of something else in here. Just the carriers are going to fall to the corruptors and mutas that are coming out. He's going to need like 1 million phoenixes or something like that. He just... You know, it's too bad that, once again, coming up with a strategy that's actually really clever, really neat.
Well, it's too bad we haven't been able to cast the game where they get to the point where they actually get to surprise the guy with the carriers.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I would have loved to see, how does NesTea react when 8 carriers suddenly fly out and he's been making roaches? You know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Can he recover from something
And
like
in
that?
fact, I mean, they even beat mutas, but unfortunately these corruptors going to come in and just rail them down.
Well, he's
not targeting them, but
yeah, you need to target down.
He will kill these off well enough. I mean, NesTea's mining from all over the place. You know, there's still going to be some carriers left over, but there's just too much damage being done all the time right now to InCa.
There's only 4 carriers left. I would say expect GG pretty soon here. The problem also with in this situation is if he leaves his base with the carriers, then he can't defend it. So NesTea just gets to take the entire map.
Exactly. You know, if he hadn't lost that third base, he would have stabilized a long time ago. And
right.
I mean, everything has fallen away since he started this. I'm actually really sad that. And the thing is, people watch this and they're going to say, "Well, you see, you went carrying you off." It's not that simple. It's actually, this is like a really complicated set of things that happen that make InCa look like he's dumb throwing carriers, when in fact, this was like a really intelligent, cool strategy.
Yeah, I mean, it's so meta and so tricky, and actually so InCa.
Yeah.
But yep, he didn't hold the third right. He had to reveal. He had to tip his hand. And NesTea, as you can see, is just pouring units towards InCa's base.
He has
InCa's economy.
drones, man.
Yeah.
He's making corruptors and infestors. It's not going to go well. But things could have slid way out of his grasp if InCa had not lost that third base right off.
Infested Terrans.
To be honest, the Zergling Roach army that NesTea sent up, that kind of very random set of units that did take out the third, it's not completely random. I mean, it's good to put on some pressure, get some units out there, but that's definitely not something that InCa had planned for.
You know, when we talk about sometimes like a game is going to be epic back and forth, and sometimes the game is like watching a lion kill a zebra, and then you watch the lion eat the zebra for about 15 minutes. That's one of these games.
Yes, that's basically what this is.
We're watching a lion eat a zebra.
Well, these carries have a lot of kills. 46, 5, 35, 42, and 39. There you go.
I feel bad for InCa because he's alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know what he's going to do. He only has carriers if he leaves his base, like I said. I mean, then the Zerg just sends Zerglings to his base.
NesTea's maxed right now, by the way, and I mean, we have Neural on the way, Hive, Ascension Spire, +2 air attack. InCa, he's just getting +3 air attack, and this is actually just too much. He's going to GG pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I think this is where
I mean, you can't actually lose carriers, even more than you can't lose siege tanks, or you can't lose
Mothership,
or you can't lose sentries or anything like that.
Yeah.
The carriers have to be a bigger number. If you're going for a carrier-centric strategy, you need 8+.
GG. All right.
GG. All right, well, cool style, cool try by InCa.
Yeah, I respect the attempt.
I'm actually going to start messing around with some builds like that, because the thing is, if you're really, like, he's trying to harass the Void Rays, but realistically what he needs to do is keep that base alive. Like, if he even tried to harass with 1 Void Ray, or maybe went up to 3 Void Rays and left just 1 near the third, maybe everything's different. Maybe if he gets a second gate, there's little tiny things he could have done that may have held that third base. But of course, at the same time, he needs to get those carriers out very quickly.
I think we
with
needed
the
to
build.
have gateways turtled at the third base.
Yeah, some sort of SimCity perhaps.
Well, because the beauty of putting the gateways there is, I mean, yeah, it costs some extra money, but you're not going to. it's going to look more like you're actually going Stalker Sentry.
Yeah,
it's false data. It's a red herring. And maybe you could have held off the Lings and the Roaches that way.
If you could have just saved that Nexus, I would have loved to see that whole build play itself out because, I mean, you will get out of hand with carriers. If they don't know that you're going carries, so you have 6, and then you're going to have 9 shortly thereafter, and then follow up with whatever you want, like, that's going to be almost impossible to stop. It's actually really, really cool, and I actually hope that we see more of that in the
hope we
future.
get to see it work once because then I think people see the beauty of it. There's always
Geniuses and NECA's builds were just awesome, so intelligent builds.
In StarCraft 1, I mean, there's the trick. You as a turn player obviously know this. Where occasionally a Protoss will just do like 2 base carriers. And it's the idea is that you're not supposed to be able to get away with it, but if the Terran just didn't scan or anticipate it or see it coming, then it's so hard to stop. It puts them in this nightmare scenario where there's this death ball coming out. The problem is in StarCraft 2 right now, it's just not hard to scout the Protoss when what he's doing, and it costs so much more and it's so much harder to get carriers in StarCraft 2 that to actually not die to an attack or to hold a third base, for instance, it's almost impossible. But I would love to see it actually work out. We're going to go take a quick 5-minute break. When we get back, we're going to have who are we going to have? We're going to have NesTea against
NesTea against Virus.
Virus, I'm sorry. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon.